We're taping this during the week of Golden Apricot with the intention of showing it as soon as CivilNet goes live. And I would like to talk to you as, I guess, both a potential audience and a potential participant in an experiment like this. I hesitate to use the word experiment, but...
Well, I think it's an amazing experiment. I was here yesterday when it was in full force and just seeing this room full of excited young people that are just on the edge of something which is really quite radical and new for Armenian civil society, this ability to be directly involved not only in acquiring information and contact and being able to construct polls, but just to create this incredible new way of generating a discussion, conversation, taking things further. It's a very powerful idea, and you could feel that in the room yesterday. And I was just thrilled to be to be there. I mean, just really, really thrilling. And it's also very interesting in the context of a film festival, where of course we're dealing with a technology which is essentially been around for about 100 years, right? I mean, film technology hasn't changed that much. This idea that we are in a cinema and whatever conversations are going on are happening in our own imagination. I mean, the incredible thing about the internet, of course, is that there's a fluidity. Exactly. It just seems to, and so to set up this structure where, that's capitalized on, where people are able to access that so freely, it's mind-blowing.
We're banking on that. We're banking on the fact that maybe film process hasn't changed that much, but from the communication end, things have changed so fast and so broadly that it's like it was invented for us, Yeah,
I think it is. I mean, it's a supremely democratic sort of system. I mean, you could also say that film, has become that. I mean, in as much as you can now shoot digitally and you can distribute globally, but you don't have this. There's something monolithic about movies, right? There's something where it exists in a certain way, and any response you have is something that is not happening as a film is unspooling. The internet is much more plastic, right? And it seems to just be able to mold itself almost amoeba-like, depending on the needs of what's being inputted in and what's being extracted. And
let's talk about those needs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those needs, because every time I go to the US, to Canada, even to Europe, although it's a little bit different there, I sense a greater disconnect from Armenia, which is really weird, because the number of visitors, tourists, or short-term stayers, I don't think has gone down. But just generally, my sense is there's a disconnect. It's a combination of, I don't know, frustration. I don't know if it's hopelessness, but it's not the fantasy dream, big church picnic we all expected it to be.
Right.
Something is off, and our hope is that we can turn this into a way to fix that. But do you agree with the need? Do you think that...
Well, I think that if people are able to get a sense that they are involved and present in a more immediate way, and that they can actually access the conversation, and be a part of it.
Not just observing and applauding.
Of course it's going to change things, but that really presupposes that people will be connected to this station and be able to actually make it a part of their daily sort of habit, because it's not intended to be something which is concentrated here. By the nature of the technology itself, it is accessible, to anyone. But we have to take advantage of this opportunity and be able to reconnect. I do agree that there is this sense of there's very particular types of problems that are perceived, that are seen outside of a North American kind of paradigm, and so there's a tendency to say, well, that's the way things are done there. But I do believe that the diaspora has a stake in having expectations in expecting transparency. But in order to have transparency, you have to be involved in looking for it and being able to put pressure on it. So this is a form of pressure. I mean, this is how I feel this technology is, that by enough people, and we've seen it happen in other parts of the world, the way this new technology works is by sheer numbers. It's by the fact that there is democratization through pressure of numbers.
Yeah, and the scale.
And if it's seen as sort of a rarefied activity, then it doesn't really work.
Well, The word you used a little while ago, democratic, is the word, right? I mean, it is exactly where people and numbers make a difference. And we're certainly going to try, and the interactive part is going to be a real challenge because we don't do that. We don't do that with our organizations, with our institutions, with our, parties, churches, and this is an opportunity to do that, where everybody can bring their vision and their expectations into this.
Yeah.
And I hope we can.
Well, I was just very excited to be here at the launch of it, and I just, I'm here to support it any way I can.
Thank you, and I think that we can use you. I mean, you're always so generous with your time and your thoughts. So this also will allow us to access busy people like you, in more frequent and timely ways. And we really look forward to doing it. Thank you, Atom.